Howdy, partners, cowboys, cowpokes, cowgirls, wherever you may be. Today's a bunch about self-promotion, the desert Southwest, and pricks. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Hey everybody, welcome back to Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. I know that was a goofy intro, but it's all about self-promotion today. As everybody here knows, I own Hombre's Barbershop at Saddlebrook Ranch, the best smelling barbershop in Southern Arizona. And before we get started, today's shave is brought to you by Hombre's Barbershop and Nurse Dave's Shaving World and Dave's Barbershop at Home. A plethora of people. We are going to do a straight shave today. There is for those of us that are natives of the Southern Arizona area, we are about 45 minutes to an hour away from probably the most famous Western town in the world. That's right, Tombstone. Now, unfortunately, Tombstone has become more of a Disneyland of the Old West. It's not, a lot of the original buildings are gone, but it's still fun. It's still fun to go down there and walk. And right now they're having the 30th anniversary of what's arguably one of the best movies on Tombstone, and that is Tombstone. Anyhow, so one of the things that we get into when we are, before I forget, God, I'm getting disjointed like you know who I'm talking about, mustache as a nurse. Yeah. Anyways, www.theshavingcadre.com. Please come and see us. We would certainly appreciate it. We think that we are the best wet shaving and gentlemanly forum on the interwebs. We are family friendly, so we have a bunch. Also, right over here, barber pole, cowboy hat. Please like and subscribe, comment. We're getting to 1,000. We're only about 20 away. We took a step back and now we're coming back forward. But over the last couple weeks, you guys have noticed that I've been wearing a watch when I'm shaving. I don't normally do that. That has something to do with the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. That's all I'm going to say for right now, but it does have something to do with that, or those, or whatever you may call it. Anyways, so today's shave is all my products that were graciously bespoke made by CBL Soaps, and I'll include a link to Chris and his website down in the section, down in the descriptor. Also, it's all about everything Arizona. And what I mean by that is there is an old adage that we talk about in the Southwest that everything in Arizona either wants to stick, sting, or bite. And that's kind of the theme of this, more like a stinging. Now, I said in the intro, pricks. Well, a cactus will prick you. You perverts, you were thinking about something different. Although, there are a great many folk out there that think the word prick applies to me over the top. So anyhow, cactus, sticky, stuff like that. Anyhow, a couple of shout outs real quick. I want to really thank Charles Price, one of my subscribers here. He, unbeknownst to me, had belonged to or subscribed to a gentleman by the name of Mark. Mark, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Zarati. And he has a shaving blog and kind of a newsy type blog, very similar to the TSC radio show that we used to do. And he is a cartoonist, so a lot of followers. And Charles had told him about the SRS Learning Series, or the Straight Razor Learning Series, and Mark was kind enough to showcase that on a portion of his Monday, I think they call it the Monday morning mailbag. If I get that wrong. But anyhow, I'm going to link Charles and Mark Zarati's page down here in the descriptor. So please check them out, along with all the other folks that we support as well. Okay, so let's talk about the prickly shave. Okay, so for the brush, or actually for the razor today, we have a German saguaro cactus. How's that go? This is a Falzgraf made in Soligen, but it's called the cactus razor. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but a buddy of mine on the cadre had pointed me to this, and it's a 5/8 older razor. I would guess this is probably from the 1920s or 30s. And it's been it's been stropped on the balsa convex and the leather convex as well. So we'll do with that. Now, for the brush today, we are going to be using a brush that was made for me by Grey Dog out of material that was in my own ranch backyard, and that's the cholla brush. So that is actual cholla cactus that has been resined and stabilized. And I believe, and I get this wrong every time, and he corrects me, I believe it's black walnut, but I'm not going to say that because I always get it wrong. But anyhow, and it's got a Maggard's super high density knot on the top end. For the soap today, again, I said self-promotion, Hombre's Barbershop. This one, again, this is made by CBL Soaps, and it's got flavors of the Old West: creosote, jalapeno flower, dust, terracotta, leather, smoke, gun smoke. It's just a wonderful, wonderful fragrance, and we'll be following that up with the aftershave. And we're doing a couple of different things with the EDP. Scuttle Soap, Brian had sent me this a few years ago, and this is called Saguaro Cactus. It's a splash-on cologne, and then we're going to kind of finish it all off with Cremo, has a Blue Cedar and Cypress. Now, Blue Cedar and Cypress are very close to Saguaro Cactus flavors, so we're going to do that as well. So I hope everybody's doing good for a Tuesday. This is my last video shave for the week, probably, but I've been following these up with blog shaves, just pictures of what I'm using. So again, I am really, really humbled that Mark and Charles referred to the Straight Razor series. I do really, really appreciate that. And it is a passion. Now, those, like I said, those were filmed quite a while ago, back when I was Handle Barber Dave and not just Barber Dave. One of these days, during the shave, we'll go into why I went from Handle Barber Dave to Barber Dave, because it's actually quite comical. The CBL soap is just, well, those of you that have used CBL soaps know that it's just an absolutely incredibly shaving soap. And this, as I said, if there is one soap, because I know that, people are very loyal to Ghost Town Barber, and I get that. It's a great scent. This is not as sweet smelling, but it is more truly representative of the Old West. If you were to take a walk down Tombstone in the 1880s and nod your hat to Virgil, Wyatt, Morgan, and Doc, this is what you'd be smelling in the barbershop. And I do have a razor, you guys have seen it before, that is from Tombstone and from that time period, so who knows. This cactus razor was referred to me by Ken on the Cadre, and I bought it to have a matchy set. And it's a wonderful razor. Okay, let's get started. Now, this is a square point razor, and it can bite you if it wants. These are true ivory scales, so. And I don't shave with this razor that often. I try to keep it in a fairly good condition. Not that shaving with it would matter, but I've just got so many other straight razors that I have a tendency to grab for. And that's the problem, when you have a ton of razors, you just grab sometimes for the quickest ones. I did use this razor in the barbershop for a year or so before I took my Feather DX and my Ralph Ost to the shop. And now the Feather DX is back at home in the barbershop at home. And then the Ralph Ost is too. And what I have at the shop now is I have depending on the client, I have a CV Helgestrand MK31. I have a Titleist removable blade straight razor, the Essence. And I have a Wade & Butcher for barber use 8/8 for some of my clients that have really heavy beards. Good first pass. And like I said, I don't use this razor very often. It is a full hollow. What's nice about this soap that Chris made for the shop, and it's really almost unobtainium. I think I've got 4 pucks left. I got a few bamboo bowls left, and then about 3 bottles of the aftershave. And I do use the aftershave in the shop, so that'll be gone pretty quick. Because we're moving on to, Chris is so gracious enough that we're moving on to a new Hombres barbershop, and it's going to be more of an Italian flavor, and along with the Southwestern stuff, and it's going to be called Spaghetti Western. You know, reminiscent of the Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns that Clint Eastwood did. And so it'll have a little bit of an Italian flair to it, because that's what's been asked. You know, we were talking a few weeks or months ago about what razors are in your wheelhouse as far as whether it be 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, 9/8, 10/8. And I find that 6/8 is a good one, but I change back and forth because every time I use a 5/8, I fall in love with them all over again because they're so maneuverable. And to me, they're like the standard. Or the 4/8 razors, and this is regardless of grind. The 4/8 razors are the little sports cars that run around your face real fast. The 5/8 razors are just, kind of like an old boot. They feel good on you. You know how to use them. There's not a lot of thinking. 6/8's a little bit more, ground covered. 7/8, a little heavier. 8/8, you just let fall down your face. Love them all. If you heard that, it kind of a ringing. This is a real nice singer of a razor. In my straight razor videos, I talk about situational awareness. Very similar when you're flying a plane. And the one technical side of straight razor shaving is you need to know where that blade is, where that toe is, and where that heel is at all times, especially if you're using a square point, French point, any type of those razors. You need to know exactly where that point is, because if you don't, it can become a real bad day real fast. As I did not nick myself, but I'm feeling it right there that I think I allowed that edge to dig in just a little bit. This super high density knot by Maggards is a beast. wonderfully soft. It's a little stingy on releasing the lather, but quite honestly, you just beat the hell out of it. It'll start releasing lather for you. I find like some people now are really starting to lean on synthetic knots more so than ever before. Because I remember when synthetic brushes came out, the best known ones were the Samog and the Omega, but the Omega one, it was just so stiff that you it was funny trying to just splay it on your face. You'd have lather going everywhere. This is an incredibly smooth razor overall. And it's kind of cool that a razor made in Solingen, Germany, that was marketed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, would have the name Cactus. I just think that's awesome. Doesn't feel like I'm going to need a ton of cleanup today. And what I was talking about, situational awareness, I just almost made a fatal mistake. I was sitting over it, and I almost touched down without having the razor moving. Don't do that. It can get stupid. Okay, let's see how much cleanup we're going to need. Just a little bit. A couple of spots I missed. And if there is some spots, and I've said this before, there's some spots that you can't get to. Once you're feeling comfortable enough in your technique, you can try the scything action, but I don't suggest you do that until you are very comfortable in your situational awareness about your blade, because scything with a straight razor is a whole lot different than scything with a DE. Same with the windshield wiper and the buffing. Make sure that you are very, very confident in your skill. Because contrary to a lot of belief, people talk, oh yeah, you can get a nick or a cut. Straight razors can do literally fatal damage if you're not careful. So before trying any advanced techniques, I do definitely recommend that you are very confident in your technique. Please. And those of you that are straight razor shaving that are new, please let us know how you're doing. Let us know if there's anything that we can do to help your journey. Because like I said, even though, you know, you're going to create your own journey as far as how you shave, whether that be cross-handed like I do or single paw, whatever the case may be. That was a tremendous shave. Let's see what the alum says. A little bit here like I had assumed, but everywhere else just your normal, you know, kind of feels like an alcohol sting. So we'll get cleaned up here. We'll go over everything again. And again, big thanks to, well, all my subscribers as we get closer to 1,000. A big thanks to Charles Price, Chuck, for really having the faith in the Straight Razor Learning Series videos. And then also Mark, I hope, like I said, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Zarati, for mentioning that in his podcast and blog. It is greatly appreciated. Got some big surprises coming up over the next couple of months. Can't talk about it yet because things are still in the works. But an alternative channel for different subjects and so forth. So, you know, a couple of collaborations. So we've got some exciting things coming up. And you can find out about most of this right over at the Shaving Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. Why do I promote it so much? I'm one of the owners. Me and my partners, Steve Vargo and Chris Lindsay, who is also the soap maker, have thought that we have done a wonderful job in providing a forum. Okay, for the aftershave today, once again, Hombres Barbershop. Hint, hint. This is more of an aftershave milk. Very, very soothing. Does have alcohol. It's just a wonderful, like right now I'm smelling the terracotta clay, the jalapeno flower, the rope, the leather, the smoke. Again, this is one that you just say, okay, do you have enough on? Nah, let's put some more on. Unfortunately, there is not an EDT for this, but we've got a couple of ways of making that work. Today, I'm just going to be using some residual talc that I had in from yesterday. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on. I got to get to the post office and mail out a few things. Just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful shave. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, as far as our cologne, is we're going to layer on the saguaro cactus. And this is actually the saguaro blossom, so it's a little bit sweet. But it does remind me a little bit of Ghost Town Barber. It's what adds that sweetness to Ghost Town Barber. But that's not the saguaro cactus. I mean, it is the bloom, and it is very representative of the bloom of the saguaro cactus. But we want more of the rough cactus smell, you know, the green and stuff like that, and the woods that are located within the saguaro cactus. And so for this, believe it or not, we're going to use Cremo, blue cedar, and cypress, and it literally matches these other flavors or fragrances really, really well, and gives you that real true West feeling and everything else. So anyway, that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed our trip into the Southwest today. I certainly appreciate everybody. Again, check out everybody down in the description section. That's our last shave for the week. On video, we'll be doing our shave blog as we normally do. We're at 981. We're at 983. Lost a few, but that's okay. I expected to lose those, folks. So let's get there. We're almost at there whatsoever. And remember, there's a hint. I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home, and I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful remainder of the week. Take care.